New video alert. This is not to do with Holly's prep. And it's not one of my educational series videos.
Then what are we talking about?
Well, I felt compelled.
The power of Christ compels you.
Oh, does it? Does it compel me? It's not that compelling.
We felt compelled to talk about something we saw on social media that people had sent to us. And that's a post from Ashy Bines, who's a trainer in Australia, who made a post about one of her diet protocols. And now, we don't want to turn this into an attack video, but rather, we'd like it to be something positive that we can make out of somebody who said something fucking stupid.
Damn! I think we need to do a little bit of re-education here, especially since she has a very large following.
I actually, full disclosure, I attempted to reach out to her on Instagram to ask her about these comments that she made, and her response was to block me.
You little stupid ass bitch, I ain't fucking with you.
So we're gonna respond in this way. So a few days ago, if we can just put this up here for our viewers to see, she said 28-day keto plan. Step 1, 28-day keto. Lose 5 to 8 kilos and look amazing. This is in 28 days, 4 weeks, lose 5 to 8 kilos.
8 kilos as well. Can you imagine what percent body?
Enjoy losing your lean body mass.
Yeah, enjoy that metabolic adaptation.
Yeah.
Woo.
Step 2, custom lifestyle. Modify your plan, reintroduce more carbs, keep improving. We'll address this part later. Step 3, chop and change depending on how much you have to lose and your time frame to achieve. Whatever the fuck that means.
What the hell did you just say?
What is a custom lifestyle? Having optimized your metabolism, what metric are we measuring optimization with? We will create a custom diet, pretty sure it's keto, bro, and exercise plan for you that will continue results while being more flexible. Why can't you be flexible from the beginning?
Yeah.
Standard keto programs get restrictive and hard to follow, but with our 2-step customized plan, you will get the benefits of both. You can transition back and forward from keto to custom lifestyle whenever you need to. I'm not sure why you would need to if it was working so well, but in any case, we're going to address that stuff later. But the first thing I want to address is her comment in the comment section that says, how it works. By cutting the majority of carbohydrates and sugar from your diet, we shut down the body's Krebs cycle and force your body to survive.
Shut down the body's Krebs cycle?
Yeah, you just shut it down.
It just
it's like
stops.
a bug, you just stomp on it.
Oh,
you know,
so it
just,
no longer works.
that's how metabolism works.
You full of shit. You understand that? You full of shit.
Oh.
It's just like, awooga, awooga. You shut this shit down right now.
So that's when you eliminate carbs.
Yeah, just cut carbs, bro.
Oh, okay.
So by shutting down the Krebs cycle, we force your body into burning its own fat to survive. You literally turn into a fat-burning furnace. This means you not only lose weight quickly, but your energy levels will be better than ever before.
Alright, so firstly, the Krebs cycle doesn't completely shut down. The process is inhibited when there is a lack of carbohydrate available. So this process of glycolysis slows down, but it isn't completely shut down because we have other intermediates like protein,
So you can
substrates.
Right, you can
used.
make glucose from other substrates.
Right.
You can make but your body requires about 120 grams of glucose per day just to exist, even if you're in ketogenesis.
Completely in the absence of carbohydrates, right?
Right.
We can still do that.
You're going to have some glycolysis going on. You're going to be regenerating some oxaloacetate. Now, the difference is you're not regenerating enough oxaloacetate to combine with all the acetyl-CoA you're producing, and acetyl-CoA starts to accumulate. That accumulated acetyl-CoA triggers
Ketones!
right, so you form ketones from that accumulated acetyl-CoA.
Yeah, so some of the ketones are things like beta-hydroxybutyrate, acetone, and there's another one, I can't think.
Acetoacetate?
Yeah, acetoacetate. So there's 3 of those ketone bodies that can actually then be used to generate energy.
So your body can use these ketones, since you're not having enough carbohydrate, your body uses these ketones to spare glycogen. They can be used by the muscle, the brain, and a lot of other tissues, okay? So they can be a good thing, especially during starvation. They help keep you alive. Now, what she's claiming is that these ketones turn your body into a fat-burning furnace. Well,
Well, you are. You
right.
are.
So now, this is where people who when somebody knows just enough to be dangerous, this is what happens. You're burning a lot of fat, yes, because you're eating a lot of fat.
I'm so fucking hungry.
What makes the difference on fat loss is how much fat you're eating versus how much you're burning. You're eating more fat, so you're burning more fat. You're also storing more fat.
It comes back to energy balance. I think that is the
Right.
key problem here. So
Now people say, well, what about carbohydrate? If you eat a lot of carbohydrate, you don't burn much fat. No, you don't burn much fat. But by definition, if you're eating higher carb, your fat intake is going to be lower. Dietary carbohydrate is not effectively stored as fat. This was shown in a study where they overfed women by over 50% calories over their maintenance and found that of the 282 grams of body fat they stored per day, only 4 grams came from carbohydrate. 4 out of 282. That's almost nothing. So why can carbs make you fat? Well, if you eat a bunch of carbs with fat, you're more likely to store the fat
you have a
eat.
bit of a cushion, but it's also, again, it comes back to your calories and your protein intakes. So if they are equated, that amount of carbohydrates and fats makes very little difference as so far as your fat loss. Okay?
Right, and there's meta-analyses looking at this.
Yeah.
There's studies, a ton of studies looking at this. If you equate calories and protein between different diets, the amount of carbs versus the amount of fats you have does not make a difference in fat loss, even when you're going full ketogenic. In fact, a recent research paper from Kevin Hall looking at higher carb, lower fat diets versus higher fat, lower carb diets showed that if anything, the lower fat diets actually produced more fat loss, about 26 grams per day more fat loss. We don't want to say that we're pro low fat. We are pro sustainability. 26 grams per day isn't that much. So if you find the low carb diet, you feel better on it, you have less hunger, that's fine. But it's not magic. So this brings us back to the 28 days.
In 28 days, yes, you're going to be in a state of ketosis. Yes, you are going to be starting to use those ketones as your fuel source. But keto adaptation takes about that amount of time just to get used to that particular...
No, it takes longer than that actually.
Oh wow, there you go. Okay.
So you will be, like you said, you'll be in ketosis by then, but full keto adaptation actually takes months until your body's fully adjusted to using them as fuel.
I think the comment was like you can go back in and out like as you choose.
Right, so that's the next part. You're now starting to get keto adapted. Now you're going to tell them eat carbs again. Well, when you're keto adapted, what happens is you become carbohydrate intolerant. Your body downregulates the systems that deal with carbohydrate disposal. So if you add carbs back in, it's actually going to be worse.
And in what way would it be worse?
Well, you're not going to be able to clear them as effectively.
So effectively
Your
you're
blood
going to be
glucose
hyperglycemia, is that what you're referring to?
for a short period of time,
Right.
until your body readapts.
Yeah, so you're probably going to be feeling really giddy, kind of uncomfortable, you know, the same kind
Bottom
of
water
feelings.
retention.
Yeah.
If keto is so great, here's the question. If keto is so great, you become this fat-burning furnace, why would you add carbs back in? First off, that doesn't make sense.
The other thing I was thinking about as well, so I'm not sure what the training component is of this 28-day challenge, but I think based on what I understand of this type of program, there would be HIIT, high intensity interval training, or HIIT training in general. Ketogenic diets are a big problem if you're going to be doing that style of training. Now, it's totally fine for aerobic sports. That's totally fine. But when it comes to anaerobic activity, ketones are a very, very poor choice of fuel. It doesn't make sense.
They're not a choice.
No, you do not use that in anaerobic glycolysis. So.
Ketones cannot be used for anaerobic metabolism. So sprints, high intensity, anything where your VO2 max gets, pretty high, ketones can't be used because ketone metabolism and fat metabolism requires oxygen. When you are in an oxygen deficit during those sorts of exercises, you must use glucose. And so by doing a ketogenic diet, you are going to drastically limit your ability to perform. So not only have you only done ketogenesis long enough to start to get adapted to where you actually feel good, now you're going to take your body back out of that. Meanwhile, you're trying to exercise, possibly do HIIT workouts, while you're trying to adapt to keto.
And trying to lose weight, and we've just lost 8 kilos as well, so like 2% of our body, so we're losing a ton of muscles.
So there was so many things wrong with this statement. Ashy, please stop saying things like this.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop fucking lying.
Fitness celebrities, please stop saying things like this. If you don't understand the metabolism, then what we would recommend is, if you're really well known and you want to run a business, there's nothing wrong with that. We have no problems with that. But hire somebody who is actually an expert, who knows what they're talking about. We're not saying that ketogenic diets can't have a place.
No.
And some people prefer a ketogenic diet. That's fine.
Yeah, I've done ketogenic diet for 3 months of my life, and I
For
really
therapeutic.
therapy reasons, but it's not like amazing.
It's not better for fat loss.
That's right.
Unless you find it easier to adhere
Compared to
calorie equated, protein equated other
right.
diets.
So there's absolutely nothing wrong with including carbohydrates in your diet if you enjoy them.
That's correct. Really what we want to emphasize is those of you who have acquired big followings on social media, you have a large voice. And with that voice comes a responsibility to do right and do better. And honestly, I am sick of seeing people making hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars off the desperation of people who don't understand these things or want to believe in magic because they believe it will be this one magic trick to help get them in shape. Focus on sustainability, focus on adherence, focus on modifying your lifestyle behaviors. If ketogenic diet is something that you can adhere to and you can do it and make it a lifestyle, and by lifestyle I mean something that you stick
See
with
yourself doing in the
for
next 3
life,
years.
then that's fine. But it's not magic. Alright guys, that's it for us. Please don't say anything else stupid and you won't wind up on one of our videos.